What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and it's me and John for the preview. The last one at Goodison Park.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Cast your mind back to the first game of the season, which, if I'm not mistaken, was Brighton. Did you think you'd feel like this?
No. And you know, because we're keeping it for the women, it doesn't make it any easier for me. Listen, I've got nothing against women's football, and I think it's good what Everton are doing. If we can do something like Chelsea did and sell it to someone to do with the women's side of it, then all well and good. I can see why they've done it, but I don't think I'll go back after I leave on Sunday. I'm going to say me goodbyes. It is the last men's game there. Yeah, I'm struggling now. It's here. It's here. You know, the last preview we'll do while we're playing at Goodison, and yeah, this time next week, Goodison will be no more for the men's team and for me.
Yeah, it's hard, if I'm being honest, because as you know, guys. So if you follow us on the socials, we've been asking fans for videos and pictures and whatever, and you've been sending them in your numbers. To be fair to you, I will put the phone number in the description. So by all means, just WhatsApp a little video of a memory or a funny moment or your favourite goal or just something from Goodison. Send it over to that phone number, and it will be included in a special video that's going out on Monday. Worst case Tuesday, depending on the amount of stuff I've got to edit, but I'm hoping it goes out Monday. It's surreal. It's surreal. You know, I was saying this to my dad. My dad's in the video. He come round. We were talking about it, and it was just like, you know, he saw the mid-70s. He saw the 80s. The example he gives in the video is a game between Everton and Chelsea in 1975. You know, that's 50 years ago. You know, there's people that watch this channel that, you know, talk about going to the game in the 40s and 50s. There's literally people that have messaged us, and to be in the generation of fans that are going to go into a new stadium, it's incredible. And the other thing I want to say is it really just talk about how big Everton are. Everton legitimately have 3 football grounds as of right now. You know, they've got Goodison Park, Bramley Moor, and they do have Walton Hall Park, which at this moment in time, we don't really know what's going to happen with that. So when you look at that compared to Liverpool or compared to any other club, who else can say that they have 2, 3 football stadiums just there? I don't know another club that can say that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Everton have been firsts for a lot. We've spoke about that on here. You know, I'm not going to reel them all off, but everyone knows what first. You know, the first club with 3 tiers, corner flags, blah 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 blah, all that under the soil heating. But we're also the first team now that have practically had the women's team as their old ground, if you know what I mean, as a Premier League ground. Everton are first for that as well. Listen, Everton are massive, yeah. You know, on current history and the struggles that we've had over the years since 1995. You know, a lot of people don't class Everton as a big club. Everton are a massive club if you look at the past history and what we've won. 9 league titles, 5 FA Cups, I think it is, a European Cup, numerous charity shields. Everton are a massive club. And this giant of a club needs to be awoken again. And hopefully the steps are being put in now with the new owners, the new grounds, David Moyes back as manager. This beast needs waking up, and hopefully, you know, in the next couple of years, people will stand up and start to notice that Everton are on the way back, because we want that more than anything. And unfortunately, to do that, it looks like we have to leave our beloved Goodison Park, which is a wrench. It's a massive wrench. And I have seen a couple of videos on social media. I haven't watched any for the last 2 days because I can't bring myself to do it. Sunday's going to be emotional, but I want to enjoy Sunday. But on the other side of that as well, I want it to just come and go now and just get it done with.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And look, I've been toying about how far we go with this, because me and you have had our conversations, and we've spoke about the send off at Everton and the events. And I was toying with the idea of us mentioning it in the debrief. And I actually think it's really important, actually, that we maybe just touch on it a little bit. But I think it's both fair to say that me and you don't think the club have done Goodison justice this season, and especially this week.
Well, let's be honest about it, mate. From the beginning of the season, things should have been happening, whether it be behind the scenes to give Goodison the proper send off, whether it be, nights at Goodison and something. We were talking to a good friend of ours of maybe erecting a big screen and playing the Bayern Munich game back, and everyone sitting in the Gladys Street. And for me, I haven't done enough. The football team as a whole haven't given the send off it deserves. I think it's 4 league wins at home all season. That's not a good send off for the grand old lady, in my opinion. And I just think Sunday, for what the club have done, they haven't done enough. It deserves a better send off than whoever's in charge of organising everything for Sunday. I'm not gonna. I probably want to say this. I don't want to go into too much detail because we don't want the club on our back. But I just think the 2 people who are going to be hosting the ceremony at the end of the game, I think we could have had better people than Tony Bellew and Gethin Jones, in my opinion. For me, it should have been someone like Alan Myers, and people like that who have worked there. Even Rossi probably would have done a better job than Tony Bellew. But listen, it's not a digging Tony Bellew job out. He's been asked to do it. He's doing it. I just think Everton could have put better organised things in place, had better hosts, and done more. There was rumours going around that they were going to stay open for a lot longer for people to have a beer in the seat and take in Goodison Park for one last time. They're giving us an hour, and I just think it's badly organised. I don't think the club have bothered to do much. And for me, I think it's a sad indictment of Goodison Park that, we're getting kicked out after an hour. And yeah, they could have done more. I don't think they pulled up any trees at what they've got organised, but that's for another video.
Yeah, I think you put that quite well there, though, John, to be fair to you. Right, we do have a game of football. So I think, it's only right that we talk about Southampton, who have been the worst team in the league. I think they've got, is it 1 win all season, and that just happened to be against us?
Well, I think that the second for the least amount of points that a team who's been relegated as in the Premier League has picked up. They are second. They didn't quite make it first. David Moyes came out with a comment the other day saying this is Everton's most important game of the season. And listen, we all have important games as the season goes on. The Merseyside derbies, we class them as the most important game of the season. When we need to win to get away from the relegation zone, each one of them games become the biggest game of the season. But Sundays, for me, is the biggest game of the season in a different way. Because I go back to what I've just spoke about, that I think the organisation and the entertainment, or whatever you want to call it, they've organised isn't being good. And it'd just be an Everton thing for us to lose against Southampton. So for me, give Goodison Park one last victory that it deserves. And I couldn't think of anything worse than getting beat on Sunday. So I agree with Moyes. This is the biggest game of the season for me, to give Goodison Park at least a decent send-off with a decent result.
Yeah, and it's 2 wins for Southampton this season, not 1. But either way, they've been piss poor. Let's just say it as it is. They've been piss poor this season. They've been really, really disappointing. They come into the Premier League, and I think some people thought they'd do better than what they've done, but they just haven't achieved what they set out to achieve. They haven't performed in games, they haven't played well in games, they haven't scored enough goals, they've conceded too many, they've just been awful. And, you know, even the game against us, it was a last-minute winner, if I'm not mistaken, or last few minutes. We were banging on the door all game, and they managed to get a winner. It was poor. So, look, without going too much into detail, I think Everton win this game 3-0. I'm not bothered, apart from one player who starts this game. I honestly, it sounds awful, but I couldn't care less who starts this game apart from one player. And that player for me is Seamus Coleman. And I know people will say, Mike, he ain't fit, or he's played 4 minutes or whatever he's played this season. I couldn't care less if he starts that game and he's subbed after 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think Seamus Coleman deserves it. And if, you know, when you look at the past, you know, if you look at certain players who have been at the club for the amount of time that Seamus Coleman has, or players who have been there for quite a long time, you look at them and you think it's quite sad that they didn't win a trophy. And I just wish we would have done better for Seamus Coleman, you know, because he deserves it. He epitomises everything about Everton. He gets the club. His kids are Evertonians. He calls Goodison Park his home. And David Moyes has come out and said if he doesn't, he wants to play him on Sunday, and Seamus Coleman will be at Everton in some way, shape or form next season. Whether that's another contract, I doubt that very much, because Ashley Young looks like he's getting one, or he will be kept on in some sort of role, whether it be on the coaching, whether it be some sort of ambassador. But whatever Seamus Coleman chooses to do to remain at Goodison Park, he should, at Bramley Moore and at Everton, he should be welcome with open arms for whatever decision he makes, because Seamus Coleman should be given a job at Everton for as long as he wants it, in my opinion. And again, I'm not even asked about, you know, we always wait for the team sheet, don't we? Who's going to be on it? Who's going to play? What's Moyes' team? Not even bothered about Sunday's team. I'm not even going to go through my team I want to see play on Sunday. Quite right with what you say. Seamus Coleman, for me, as long as I see him starting on Sunday, or at least getting some minutes to say farewell for his playing career from Everton, that'll make that'll add to my day, that, because I think he deserves a decent send-off. We've had players in the past who should have got a testimonial and basically just got binned off. I think Leighton Baines was one of them. He didn't get another contract. All right, he's there at a coaching role now. I honestly think one of the games in pre-season should be for one man and one man only, and that's Seamus Coleman.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, you've just mentioned the other player there that I almost wish was playing this weekend, which is Leighton Baines, because I felt like he deserved a trophy. You know, as much as I love Coleman, I love Leighton Baines. You know, it was just one of those players that I thought was incredibly underrated, and I almost wish he was, you know, almost wish he had a playing contract still and he could play. And that's not a dig at Mikalenko, but I just wish he was getting a better send off than what he did when he finished that game. I think it was Bournemouth. I think we lost the game. He made a last-ditch block, if I remember, and then literally 10 minutes after the game, it come out that he was retiring. It was devastating. So for me, Leighton Baines would have been Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman. They'd have been the two that start for me. I don't really have anything else to say, because I think the emotion of this game is going to be a lot. There'll obviously be a match reaction of some kind, but I honestly don't know what it's going to look like, what it's going to be, how it's going to be presented. I haven't got a clue. There's going to be the match debrief. Again, I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what that's going to be. And there's also going to be this very special video that I am putting together. It's the most difficult thing I've ever put together, and I mean that in a good way, because it's testing me. But you know, it's also been eye-opening how many people actually watch the channel and want to be involved. So please, the phone number is literally in the description below. send your WhatsApps and your pictures to that phone number, and you will, and I promise you, you will be in the video. And we'll say goodbye to her for everything that she is, everything that she's ever been, and everything that she will continue to be. The trendsetter, the first of something in English football. She's brilliant. She's been magnificent. She's been our shoulder to cry on. She's been our brick wall when we've needed her. She's been everything that we as fans and people have ever wanted. And she might not be a person, but she's certainly got a soul. And on Sunday, I'm with her 110%, and I will see her out for the fantastic football venue that she has been for over 100 years.
Yeah, I'm done.
Fucking horrible, innit? I don't even want to end the video.
Like losing a loved one, innit?
Horrible. Right, guys, we're going. We're going before you see fucking tears and all sorts from me and John. Bit more than you're seeing now. Love you all. Send in your stuff, and it will be in the video. Peace.